They say history remembers the brave, but that isn't entirely true. History remembers the successful. The rest are quietly buried beneath labels like foolish, reckless, or unnecessary. This is not the story of a man whose name is taught in schools or printed on monuments. This is the story of a man who believed in the future so deeply that he trusted it with his life, and lost. His name was Franz Reichelt, and most people have never heard of him, not because he had nothing to offer, but because his final moment made people uncomfortable. Franz was not born extraordinary. He was not raised to be remembered. He was a tailor, a man whose life revolved around fabric, measurements, stitching, and patience. Every day he worked with his hands, shaping cloth into something useful for others, watching people walk out of his shop wearing suits that made them feel important, confident, protected. And yet, while his hands stayed on the ground, his thoughts never did. He lived during a time when humans were obsessed with the sky. Airplanes were new, fragile, and terrifying. Pilots went up knowing that if something failed, there was no second chance. There were no reliable parachutes, no simple way to escape gravity once it took control. Franz noticed this, and unlike most people who observe danger and walk away, he felt pulled toward it. He believed that survival should not depend on machines alone. He believed that what humans wore could save them. He imagined a world where a person could fall and still live, not because of metal or engines, but because of fabric, something soft, something human. The idea sounded ridiculous to many. A tailor speaking about flight was easy to laugh at, but Franz did not laugh. He worked, he tested, he failed. Again and again, he dropped dummies from heights, watched his designs collapse, twist, refuse to open. Each failure was visible, undeniable. Experts told him to stop. Friends warned him that belief does not replace physics. But Franz heard something else in their words. He heard fear, and fear, to him, sounded like delay. He adjusted his designs obsessively, convinced that he was close, convinced that one more attempt would be enough. Eventually, he requested permission to test his invention from the Eiffel Tower. Authorities agreed, assuming he would use a dummy, because no reasonable person would risk their life on an unproven idea. Franz did not correct them. On the morning of February 4, 1912, Paris was cold, quiet, curious. A crowd gathered not because they expected a miracle, but because humans are drawn to moments where something might go wrong. Franz arrived wearing his invention, a heavy coat designed to unfold into a parachute. It looked awkward. It looked uncertain. Reporters asked him if he was confident. He said yes, not because doubt was gone, but because admitting doubt at that point would have meant admitting everything he feared. Standing on the platform, he hesitated just for a moment. That hesitation is frozen forever in photographs and memory. Some say he realized the truth then. Others say he was simply calculating. And then he stepped forward. The parachute did not open, not slowly, not partially. It did not open at all. Franz fell straight down, fast, silent, unstoppable. The sound of impact ended everything, his life, his dream, his belief. The crowd reacted the way crowds always do, with shock, with horror, with judgment. Some called him brave. Many called him stupid. History quietly chose a side, failure. But here is the part that makes people uncomfortable. Modern parachutes exist today because people like Franz existed, because someone was willing to fail publicly, willing to be wrong in front of everyone, willing to risk being remembered not as a genius but as a warning. If Franz had succeeded, we would celebrate him. Because he failed, we use him as an example of what not to do. And that raises a question most people avoid. Do we admire courage or only outcomes? How much belief is too much belief? At what point does faith become arrogance, and at what point does caution become cowardice? Franz crossed a line. He crossed it alone. But without people crossing lines, nothing changes. He died believing he was right, and the world lived long enough to benefit from the idea he died for. So the question remains, and it has no comfortable answer. Was Franz Reichelt brave or reckless, a hero or a fool, or maybe just human?